This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast, episode 135. We have a full house. Wade Hampton, Paul Rank, myself, DocNoyes, and with special guests Riley Fitzgerald and Meli, both joining us. They are doing the LA Kings or LA Game Worn Expo this weekend, including the Kings. We'll get into all those details here in a few. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Can't wait to talk about it. I know you guys have put a lot of work into it, so we'll get into all that. But as always, as we get into other topics beforehand, make sure you guys interject whatever you would like there. Thanks to Ryan Barstad again for joining us last week. That was a fun conversation. Really good time with that and hearing about his collection and UND and all of those things. So thanks him for joining us. The drink this evening was a special one. I picked up the bottle yesterday from one of the local liquor stores that I get some interesting stuff from. The brand is Doc Holiday. I haven't even actually had their regular bourbon yet, but they got 4 bottles of this special bourbon. It is called I'll Be Your Huckleberry. It is actually huckleberry flavored bourbon. So it's got a very fruity kind of berry smell to it. So we'll see how this one turns out. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that is good too. The bottle is beautiful. It's their normal label, but it's all purple. And the bottle top looks like a 6-gun. If you're looking at down a cylinder of a 6-gun, that is really good stuff. Speaking of drinking, I do look forward next month to have a drink or two with our friend Mitch and the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing. Make sure you reach out to him, or if there's something that he could bring to Vegas for you if you're going to be out there, reach out. I know he can get that sorted out. And Patrick with Public Display of Collection. If you want any kind of signage for hockey stuff, for any kind of collection, he does it all. Please reach out to Patrick with Public Display of Collection. Like I said, we're working on, I need to actually reach out to him, get it finalized, some giveaways to be done at the Vegas Expo next month. So I'll give you some details that is closer. Auctions, handful, couple that I've touched on before from NHL auctions, Penguins and Jets. They do close in a couple of days. There's also the 2025 Stanley Cup Final Edmonton Oilers white set ones worn for Game 3. Those just opened today, and they close 6 days from now. Just worn in the one game. They have the, of course, the Stanley Cup patch on them, and has white set tag in them. Let's check through there. Prices are already jumping pretty quickly on some of those, and they just came up. A lot of them are at, depending on who the player is, a lot of them started at $1,000. There's a couple issued ones that are $850. So it'll be interesting to see where those close. They do close March the 18th. Boston Bruins have auction. I believe it started today as well. The 2025 Stadium Series style alternate set 2s. They have just over 7 days to go. Pasternak, seeing the top one up here, is already over 2,000. Several others in the $1,000 range, and some 600. So it'll be interesting. See where those close at. Gretzky auction. There was a live Gretzky auction, and this was shared in the main group that I believe it was Sotheby's Christie's. I'm sorry, and it was you could watch the auction, I guess, on YouTube. The regular price closed at $750,000, but with the buyer's premium, it hits right at $950,000. that Gretzky match for the 500th goal and 87 Cup Raiser jersey.
Congratulations, Paul.
Yeah. I thought you were up for that first. I know you two were fighting over it.
Yeah, Paul got me on that one in the end.
Sorry.
What do we think about the price?
I hate to say it. I find that to be cheap considering it's a Cup Raiser and the 500th goal. I mean, I think in the past we've seen Gretzky jerseys, climb at that level or higher than that level. And I know I've heard of asking prices being higher than that. So it's hard to say it was cheap. I don't think that's the word for it, but I don't think it was outrageous considering the history that it holds.
I can rephrase what Wade was saying. It went for less than I expected it would go for.
There you go.
Yes, because when you're talking, seven figures, or close to seven figures, it's hard to use the word cheap.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying a home in California, it's
then you get a shack.
Yeah, if you're lucky. It's yes, Riley knows.
Yeah, it's.
Gee, buy a jersey or buy a house. Which would you go with? But I just thought that was kind of an interesting one that they did it live and you could bid on it. But yeah, that does seem, especially for 500th goal and cup raising jersey, for what it is,
affordable.
Yes, for if you're buying Gretzky's for sure. I am not, but I would think that would be a 1.25, 1.5. Would be kind of where I would think that should fall, but
I had assumed with the buyer's premium it was going to be over $1 million, just from what we've seen recently with some other stuff.
But we'll see if maybe it or other Gretzky's come up, because this the second Gretzky auction in less than 6 months.
Yeah, they had the Rangers one popped up a while back, this one, and then. I know that there was another one just a couple of years ago that I think Classic had at least one in the last year or a couple of years. So, they do seem to be popping. They pop up.
I didn't pay real close attention to this auction. Were there any concerns expressed about the shirt? Because it seems like not every Gretzky, but a lot of the Gretzky auctions, there's some questions about.
I never heard any questions, and then considering the fact that it sounds like they matched it to couple things. I'm not sure who the match was done by, but I'm sure it was, if they're going to announce this match, I'm sure it was spot on. So,
because that's the only thing I could see keeping the price down. And
yeah,
if there were no concerns, I am surprised. Like Doc said, it didn't go for 1.2 to 1.5, but you need two people who think it's worth that.
For sure.
In the room at that time. So,
my grave photo matched it.
Okay, good.
Real-time research again. Thank you.
Yep. That's why I have two computers here. One to do all the video stuff and one just so I can look things up. Provenance, Wayne Gretzky to Peter. This is right off Christie's site. So if you want to go see the actual listing, it's out there. It was part of the Jim Irsay collection. Oop. Somebody's...
We have an emergency alert in San Jose. I clicked on it and it went away, so it can't be
Must not be that important then. I say when those usually go off here, it's a tornado coming through. Luckily, we dodged those the other day. So
for us, I'm sorry, Meli.
The alarm was they found another Gretzky to auction.
Well, I mean,
wow, that was fast.
Yeah, that's wow. It's not even on the air yet, and they're finding it. So
straight to Paul Rank's phone. We found another Gretzky. Let's go.
Usually most of the alerts I seem to get are an elderly person is missing. And they send that out. It's I don't get too many.
Now, if Monica popped in the other room and goes, "Found you," we got a problem.
Ouch.
So Christie's. I know. I'm just in one of those moods today. So Christie's has really good information with their stuff. Some of the description here: 86, 87 game worn home, white Edmonton captain's jersey worn during the regular season, Stanley Cup playoffs. Conclusive photo match to Gretzky's 500 NHL goal on November 22nd. conclusive photo match to Game 7 of the 87 Stanley Cup Finals when the Oilers defeated the Flyers to win their third cup in 4 seasons. The jersey is accompanied by detailed photo matching information and authentication document from MyGray. And they list all the full provenance. So it says first it was Wayne Gretzky gave it or sold it or whatever to Peter Plockington. Plockington then sold it to Michael Wexler August 11th, 1997. MyGray auctioned it June of 2002. It was then in our friend Sean Chalk's collection, was sold to Classic Auctions June 18th, 2013. Was then in a private collector in Massachusetts, and then purchased privately through MyGray Auctions, which auctioned it off again March the 5th, 2021. So
well, Plockington owned the Oilers during.
That makes sense then.
So I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy jersey. I mean, that description is better than light but noticeable wear. I mean,
that's true. Very solid. And I just like all that's in there. The exact number, because they actually put it in here with the hammer fee, is $952,500.
Nice. And if it goes according to form, it will be back up for auction in 5 years.
Right. Yeah, the timing does seem to fit that. They do. If you go to the Christie's listing, they have the photo matches and all those things in there as well.
Nice.
So it's definitely solid info.
How awesome. I mean, let's just take a second and say, how awesome would it be to be like, you know what? Pardon my French, but fuck it. You know, I think I'm just going to throw $1 million at this Gretzky jersey and make her, I mean, how sweet would that be?
It's time to start a GoFund us.
Right. Yeah, we'll throw that up tomorrow after we put the podcast out. Help us buy a Gretzky. One more auction till we get into a couple other things here. With speaking of crazy prices, I don't think anything is going to hit $1 million, but Fanatics is doing a Team USA blind auction. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of blind auctions in general.
Yeah.
I even in our group chat for the show, I shared one of the local teams put out their thing. And what's weird is, and Meli, you mentioned Dash before we were on the show for other stuff. This local team uses Dash for a bunch of their auctions, but their end of the season jerseys, they put up a Google sheet and you bid off of there, and then they update the sheet. What freaking? If you're using Dash for other stuff, put those through Dash too. But
what team is that? Is that Peoria or
yeah, Peoria?
Wellington? Oh, Peoria. Yeah, they're doing that. They're doing that with some stuff too.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like if you did like they just did a Tony Twist night and auctioned off some stuff from that through Dash. Why the hell aren't these through Dash too? But whatever. I am friendly-ish with the owner. I may just reach out to him and ask him because I'm curious. But yeah, the blind auctions, it makes me think, Wade, of going back to the early 2000s. When you
fact sheets?
Yes.
Fact sheets? Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it was. You couldn't even call and them tell you what if your bid was the winning bid.
Yeah.
But and we'll go around the room here in a minute. I'll read off some of the prices. These are from the quarterfinal game worn February 18th, worn during. So they wore 2 jerseys also. Warm-ups the first period. So February 18th game again.
Correction on that, Doc.
Uh-huh.
They wore at least 2 jerseys.
Oh, okay.
We don't know beyond that there was a set that they're auctioning off that was worn in warm-ups in the first period. Who knows what else they wore? Yeah.
And I wish, and maybe it'll come out somewhere, or maybe we can find it out, or maybe I'll get a contact of Fanatics and say, would you guys just put this flipping information out here? If they even know, because you assume that they do, but give us a breakdown of how many freaking jerseys were worn. And we'll get into some of that here in a minute, but some of the prices, Brady Tkachuk, starting bid now, $14,999. Jack Eichel, same price. Jack Hughes with his first period assist, $49,999.99. Matthew Tkachuk, same thing. Matthew Boldy, he's at $10,000. Brady's also at, call it 15. I'm tired of saying all the nines. Jake Sanderson, Kyle Connor did not play. $5,000 for an issued. Jeremy Swayman, $5,000. And that's not even the full list.
Far from it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so some of them like Bennington's isn't in. I did not see that in the list, and maybe it sold before we got a copy of it or whatever. But I'm just gonna start in the corner. Riley, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think they're pretty ridiculous, but as we kind of saw with the stadium jerseys a while back with Tampa Bay, people are willing to pay a lot of money for one game, one period, two periods, whatever it is. But I still think like Jack Hughes is like what, $50K? Like that seems, I know he's the golden boy and he's the hero, but that still seems a little crazy for it being the starting bid for not even the gold medal game.
It's not even a bid. That's the lightest. That's the lightest offer they'll accept on it. I mean, like that's the crazy thing. You're not really bidding against anybody. You're basically saying like, how much am I willing to pay for this, right? And that's what blind auctions are. That's so crazy is, it really like it's just basically saying like my pockets are this deep. I'd be willing to spend this much money. I'm hopeful that nobody else, is going to make a bid higher than my bid. Or a offer. I don't even want to call them bids almost,
Yeah, it's a little steep in my book. I'm sure it is for most people. Just like you said, with it being blind and not being the gold medal game, the starting bid feels like it should be the buy it now price in my book, but it's I don't work at Fanatics.
The interesting thing would be obviously with Fanatics' connection to NHL auctions. Will they put, I mean, obviously these are like a period and a warm-up worn jersey, so there's got to be a lot more sets out there. So the next question will be, do a set or some of a set end up on NHL auctions? Where do those start out at? And then what's the litmus test versus what these things get offers for versus what those things close with at bids? Where do they start them at? And then like, I mean, imagine if you pay 50 G's or 75 G's for the Hughes, they put a set in NHL auctions and it sells for 25K, right? And suddenly you're like, I mean, what are you thinking? And maybe it's a better period or a better game or who knows? I mean, the assumption would be the players probably, and they certainly probably kept the gold medal game jerseys from the end of the game, right? That's the tradition that typically happens. But in that game, if they wore two periods against Sweden in whatever, then how many did they wear one a period for the gold medal game?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's because we were kind of talking before. What was the rough math that we came up with on this?
Well, I mean, depending on how many games they played, if you figure if they wore just two a game for 7 games, that's 14 jerseys, right? So, I mean,
and you figure they probably went 4 warm-ups and 1 each period for gold.
Yeah, that's what you'd assume. And probably for the you'd assume probably for the semifinal game, they probably did the same thing to maximize it.
So you're looking at what, pushing close to 20?
Yeah, for all the listeners who like to complain, we're just guessing. It's just an assumption,
Who's complaining?
I mean, who doesn't? So, Meli, what do you think price wise and stuff? Is it out of line or is it what it should be for knowing the team won gold and just wearing the jerseys up to it?
I think for what it is, I mean, pockets have to run deep for that. I mean, if I had that kind of money, I still don't think I would pull the trigger on that. I think and it's also my age too. I don't know. I think as you get older and you have more responsibilities with life, you have to start making priorities and say, okay, this is my jersey budget. This is my whatever, So I mean, if you want to spend 50 grand on something, I don't think I would ever do it, even if I had the money for that.
So I'm gonna play a little bit of a game. I just jumped on eBay just to kind of play a game here, right? There's a Joe Pavelski game worn 2014 USA Olympic jersey for $3,500. Buy it now or best offer. There's a Ryan Suter Sochi 14 jersey, $2,500. Buy it now, best offer. So I'm just, I mean, like those are just two of them sitting on eBay, right? So,
Right.
I mean, there's another one, a white one. There's a Parisi, 14 captain's jersey for $6,000. Buy it now, best offer. I mean, so they're out there, and none of them are like, there's a Cam Fowler for $2,500. Buy it now, best offer. I mean, I could probably keep searching through there and find a bunch of them. Here's the most expensive one I can find so far: Sochi 14 Olympic game worn jersey, Patrick Kane, $22,000. So I mean, that's not even half of what they're asking for on the on the Hughes. So I mean, again, the question becomes how, like, not only are the prices crazy, but like, what's the value on any of these in those cases 10 years, right? I mean, these are obviously different. They won the gold, but these aren't gold medal game jerseys, right? This is a regular jersey from a set of probably a lot of them. So kind of interesting. I just, that's something to throw out there and think about.
Well, I always wanted an Olympic. I always wanted the USA Olympic jersey, and I didn't have it in my collection until recently, because Trevor was actually the one. Trevor's one of our friends that the three of us are putting on our expo, and he's a very good close buddy of mine. And Riley and him and I talk all the time. And Trevor told me, because he knows I collect Dustin Brown, and there's a few of us out there that collect Dustin Brown, and we all know each other, and everybody's trying to get him and this and that. But I wanted his. I didn't even care, gold medal, no gold medal, whatever. I just wanted one of his. And there's a few of them out there, and nobody lets go of Dustin Brown. They just, whoever has them, like, they covet them. And so Trevor had let me know that they were on my grade. And I said, I want him. I want to get him. And he's like, go get him, go get him, go get him. So I went and I got two of Dustin Brown's 2014 Sochi. It was warm-ups in the first period. That's it. And I didn't even care. But they're reasonable. It wasn't like $1 bazillion.
I just did a deep search online. The TJ Oshie Sochi 14 jersey that he wore versus Russia in the second, third, overtime, and shootout in that historic game, sold in NHL auctions for $23,000.
Crazy.
And that, at least, I mean, one, because of the history with that stuff, that I think is very fair.
No, I think I wonder what that jersey would sell for now. But and again, that's a long time ago. It's 10 plus years ago that it went in the auction. And I think the market on that's changed. I think if that jersey goes, especially that historic jersey, if that came available, that's got to be a $100,000 jersey probably at this point, right? It's such an iconic moment for USA hockey. What's that sell for now? So I guess if we're gonna hate on the prices, we have to think about the fact that maybe the way the market's changed in 10 years, and again, it really is going to matter how many of these sets or how many of them end up in the public's hand.
So I'm also looking on eBay, and there's a 1960 game worn Olympics jersey from Dick Rodenheiser.
Yeah.
USA, $30,000 asking price. And I'm sorry, the 1960 win is a lot more important and a lot more improbable than this current one, the 2026 team. I don't know what 1980 jerseys go for, but it's I'm gonna guess some of the ones, if what Fanatics is expecting happens, that some of these will go for more than what the 1980 ones sell for.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is insane. Which is
crazy.
Yeah. So I do want to get a few opinions out on this, and I think most people know where I'm going to go on this. I personally think it's disgraceful. I think what Fanatics is doing is underhanded. We all know they're a company we can't trust, and we have many stories going back with unethical behavior from them and stuff, and to do a blind auction of something of this magnitude with those prices coming out, we have no idea if reps are talking and telling other bidders like, oh, you're not the high bid on this. You got to bump it up and all.
Yeah.
When it's not, I doubt Fanatics is capable of running a true blind auction, because I know that the reps will be seeing it. I know they're commission driven, profit driven, and I much would have rather have seen these on NHLauctions.net or any other site auctioning them well. I actually preferred to see them on Team USA site and raising money for that. But
Yeah, I mean,
Do we know if Team USA gets a set to sell?
I do not know yet. I don't even know. Like we said, we don't even know how many sets there are.
Yeah, or where they all went. I mean, like at the end of the day, for me, I'm not going to disparage Fanatics in that way entirely. We all know how you feel, and I get it.
Oh yes.
It's not, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a business that is about profitability, and I mean, you have to look at that aspect of it. And in the same sense, I mean, they're going to put them out there. It's no different than the jerseys that they just did with all the warm-up jerseys from all the previous Winter Classics and stuff and outdoor games. I mean, at the end of the day, the first run of them was a lot cheaper than the later runs. They showed that with some of the pricing they did on the Olympic jerseys that they kind of had pop up, which were pretty high price. I'd be curious to see how many of those actually sold or didn't sell, or how many they still have. The time will tell, because they'll end up popping up on their eBay stores at some point. But they obviously, we see the ones that they wholesaled out that a lot of jersey dealers have now floating around on jersey pages, and they've popped up on eBay. A lot of the warm-ups have ended up. So that those guys didn't pay the retail offering price on those, because they're usually selling them for less or around the same price that they were previously listed for. So, I'm not going to blame Fanatics for trying to be profitable on these things, but at the end of the day, the question is, why did they choose to do a blind auction? Because it's very against, what they normally do. So, it's going to be interesting to see what the, if we find out what they did sell for, and when they pop up secondarily.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have used a real auction platform, and they own one, NHL Auctions, this would be going over a lot better. Just the fact that they're doing
here, the assumption would be, I mean, from what we've seen in the past, typically, a lot of this stuff does end up, just like with the Winter Classics and the outdoor games, at least one set usually ends up on NHL auction. So it would be a pretty fair assumption to bet that we do see at least one set of USA ones on NHL auctions and or other teams, depending on what the contractual parts with the jerseys were in the first place. But and that will be like I said, that'll be the big test on whether or not these starting prices were crazy, or if we all have to kind of, go back and say, man, maybe they were smarter than us on this one.
And I'm hoping we'll know what it sells for. It's hard to track blind auctions that aren't published anymore.
You'll never actually know what somebody paid for one, but you'll definitely secondarily be able to see whenever they do pop up in, like Paul said, in that 5-year window when they're either on eBay or back on Classic or some other auction, house's platform.
Or we find it a good one.
I'm sure there will be plenty other options to get U.S. Olympic jerseys from this last run. None of them are going to be cheap. Don't get me wrong on that.
No,
but
at least not in the not for another 10 years. Just like the ones we saw on eBay, those that price point will definitely balance out when those players are either at the end of their career or whatever. You can go grab one of those for a relatively good price for a pretty good NHL player on some of those names.
Two more things before we get into the LA Expo and all the exciting things there. You have two things, Paul. You got some shark sale info.
Yes, I'm trying to find, where did my window go on that? Here it is. So today, Thursday, March 12th, the Sharks at, I think, 3 p.m. Pacific time put like 15 jerseys, I think it was, or 14, up for sale on their sharksproshop.com site. these are all the weight away set one from this year. A lot have already sold. Skinner was 800, Colin Graff 1200, Ferraro with the a grand. A lot were about the 1,000 part. 800 to 1,200, I think, was the entire range. Yeah, for all these. Klingberg unsold at 1,000. Nick Leddy for 800. So what you're probably noticing is I'm not calling out any of the big names. Probably the biggest name on this list was Colin Graff. No Celebrinis, no Smith, no Misa, no Askarov. There was a Nedeljkovic jersey, but I assuming those will go to auction at some point or show up at the Sharks game worn stand or even possibly online. But it was interesting seeing those show up today.
Yeah, because they gave you guys they tipped you off to that they were coming, right?
Yes, and we knew that at some point this week they were going to be online, and then this morning they put something on Instagram saying they were being posted at 3:00. So looks about half of them sold. Yes, Meli?
So, yeah, for the Sharks and stuff, do they typically sell them in all different ways? Or are you used to, like, is it always the same or is it different this year? Because, the Kings, us Kings fans, we're having a real hard time now the way jerseys are sold. It's a whole other animal now. But how are you guys told for Shark stuff?
So a number of years ago, I guess post-COVID probably, but Amarek took over the Sharks jersey sales. They get a lot of the gear in the Sharks private company directly from the Sharks, and they have a game worn stand, which I can't remember if we probably showed it to you. We're in town for the Kings game, and jerseys show up there every game
randomly.
Semi-randomly, yes. So it might be no jerseys up to like 5 or 6. They just had a couple games ago. They had a Celebrini, which I believe was 12.5. There was a Misa, which I think it was 5K. I could be wrong on that. And typically they'll have 3 to 6 new jerseys a game. Fairly high prices, I think, and people wait in line for them. And to me, I'm glad I don't collect Fanatics because, besides the fact of hating Fanatics, I also hate waiting in line. And I just think it's wasteful to spend hours and hours waiting in line when you don't know what they're going to have. I didn't mind in the old days when everything was at the equipment sale and we waited in line for, a couple hours, 6, 12 hours for that. And then there was plenty to go around back in those days for everyone because it was 3 sets of jerseys of every style and almost everything was there. So, a few top players, their stuff might go quickly, but everyone always ended up with something they wanted. So to answer your question, they do some at the stand like that. Then at the end of the year, there's still the end of the season equipment sale, which typically is the last set of jerseys, and then stuff from earlier in the year they did not get, which appears at that sale. And Justin's going to hate hearing this, but last year, the set 3 teal jerseys were given away to the jersey off the back, so they did not appear at the sale because Justin was out here for a game and he wanted one of the jerseys from the game he attended. And there's it's going to be really tough for him to find one. He's going to have to find someone who's willing to sell one who won it via the jersey off their back. So how are the Kings doing their sales now?
Well, they change it every year. I mean, every year. And the thing is that they're so hard to get now that's why I think being a Kings fan is torturous. Besides the team not playing well, that's a whole nother story. But the jerseys themselves, I don't know if you've noticed, but I noticed like there's some beautiful jerseys on the pages that are just beautiful jerseys, nice prices, being sold here and there, 500, 600, 400, all the teams. But if there's a Kings jersey, you notice on the pages, it's $1 bazillion because it's just like, it doesn't even matter. Like, here's a Kings jersey. I want, whatever it is. And it's just like, because they're coveted and they're so hard to get. And every year you never know how the Kings are going to sell it. So before it used to be like, message the guys, and they had a list of who asked for what when. And so all of the same collectors, it's just all of us. We all know each other. It's the same people. Boom, 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 boom. Who do you want? Oh, I want, Dustin Brown and Kempy, and I want Dewey, and I want, blah, 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 Kopi. So it would go down, and then they'd say, okay, reverse retro ones. They're like, here's the list. Everybody give a 500 deposit, and then we'll tell you later how much they cost, depending on how good the players. So then they send us the list and said, okay, you put 500 down. Who do you want? And they show the list, and that's how they did it for a long time. And so I'm like, you guys are just selling to the same people, like the same people are buying. And so then they kind of went away from that, and then they said, well, just tell us what you want. So people say, oh, I want a Kempy, I want a Dewey, I want a this, a that, a that, a that, a that. And they say, oh, those are already reserved. It's all, nobody really knows. And then they said, oh, never mind, you guys, King's Care Foundation is so it's good that now the money does go to a good place, but now King's Care Foundation stepped in, and they get everything. And when the stuff gets auctioned, nobody knows. It's a mystery, right? And so they go for big, huge money. And then recently we heard, wow, they're going to have the set ones. Like, they barely auctioned off set ones. Barely. And so, like, everybody's like, what? Everyone's texting each other, set one. So it's just like, it's almost like that demand for it, because it's so rare. People go, I don't care who I get. And they just bid, because they don't know if they're going to get anything else. And then, thank goodness, I mean, in a way, like, the guys that work now for Game Worn, they're good friends of ours. They work really hard, but they don't really get to say what happens. It's all King's Care, how they decide what to do. And then whatever's left over, they tell the same collectors, it's all of us, the same people. And they say, you might be able to grab a set 2, maybe a set 3. We'll let you know, So everything is like, can't really tell you, but da-da-da-da-da. So all these collectors that we all know each other, we're just bidding on these auctions all the time, because we don't know. It's awful. But then I get sad because I see like teams like Vegas, they have it together. The Knights, their stuff is great. Their page is beautiful. I've even talked about it. I showed, like, the Kings, look at these teams. Look how you can just go and buy. What if you want a fourth line guy? What if you want to, I love those guys. Like, what if I just want to buy? I don't always want a superstar, and as a Kings fan, you can't get it. You just can't get them. And you pay attention now. You're going to see on the pages, if a Kings jersey pops up, everyone's going crazy, because it's like, what? It's there? Because everything is held tight, because you never know when something's going to get released. And it's really weird now. Like, Riley and I talk about it. Trevor, our other buddy, we talk about it. And we always try to help each other. All, like, my collector friends on my Instagram, they're blowing up my DMs going, Meli, because nobody really knows when, where, what, and how it's going to happen. Like, the Kings they don't want to say. It's really weird. That's why I had asked about the Sharks. At least there's some transparency. Like, now, if you go to the Kings game, because, I have quarter season tickets I go into the store where they have the gear. It's just gear. There's no jerseys, because they're not being sold anymore. And really? That's what Riley will send me a picture. You go into the store and you have all the sticks, all the skates, all the gloves, and goalie stuff, helmets. That's it. Not one jersey, not one.
So what are they doing with all the jerseys, do you think?
I don't know. The King's Care Foundation took them all. And so our guys that sell them, that work for Game Use, are trying to help the collectors, like just all of us, our little group, and trying to pull some maybe set 2s, not the big names though. They're going to pull, the fourth line guys, which is fine. I love collecting those guys, but you can't get a first line guy or a second line guy unless you're bidding through King's Care Foundation. That's how they're doing it now. Riley, that's how it is.
Yeah, lately what they've been doing is they've been trying to bank off of former Kings on their current team. Like, when the Capitals came to town, they auctioned off Matt Roy's jersey. When the Habs came to town, they auctioned off Philip Deneau's jersey. So they're trying
I got one.
Yeah,
I got one of those.
They're trying to bank off of guys coming back in town, it seems like. But then all of a sudden they randomly hit us with, hey, set 1 goes up this weekend. And that's when all of us, like Meli said, we were all texting each other, set one, who's getting who?
This is it.
Yeah, and it got crazy quick.
Yeah, and then just being able to try to get in on it. And you know what? Set one's great, whatever. I'm not picky like that. I just like to collect different guys. I like affordability. I'm just a regular collector. I don't have the deep pockets. I have a mortgage. I have a car payment. I have I'm not going to spend 50K on it because I don't have that kind of money, but sure, I'll buy a jersey for 1,000. I'll buy it for 2,000. If it's a guy I really want and it's really cool, shoot, I'll pay 5,000, 7,000. But after that, it's getting crazy. To me, it's just like, I don't know. It's just too much for me. And I'm a sneakerhead. So I collect sneakers as well. And, that's a whole other thing too. So, you gotta, I kind of like to spread my money around, but I just love jerseys and I like affordability. And I like to see that lots of people get the opportunity to buy stuff. So the fact that it is in an auction, it's exciting. I mean, Riley and I were texting each other and talking about, hey, we don't like to outbid each other. So all of our friends that collect will all text each other and say, hey, I don't want to step on. What are you getting? At least the local people. The Kings fans that live in other states, they do their thing. I don't know. But all the local people here, we all kind of text each other and say, hey, I'm bidding on such and such and blah, blah, blah. And so lately, that's the only way we can get it. When before, we could go into the store and cut a deal and get, a stick with a jersey. It's fun. The fun is gone now. It's just gone. It's more like
sounds like it's unfortunate. And I know I actually saw a post this week as I was reading through the different groups is people were complaining about some of that with the Islanders and their store where every jersey's listed at like $813. And then somebody commented, oh yeah, that sits out there a while and then shows up on whatever auction platform they're using and it's selling for the starting bid, which I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds like it's way cheaper than that. So it's like, folks, they've sat out there now over half a season at that stupid price. Set them at something reasonable and move them. And so many teams have hoarded stuff or changed how they do things, and it does, I think, become problematic for a lot of collectors. Is it makes it difficult, especially
what about the average
used to
collector?
Getting them easy.
What about just the regular collector? Just not the ones with the deep pockets, just the hardworking people that just want to collect their team. They're not buying $billion jerseys. They just want to get maybe their favorite player. Maybe they want to get it for their kid, or they want to, they're involving their family and they're growing their collection. Like Paul, you were talking about Eric, our friend Eric, our new friend. He has his family involved. So he has a fantastic collection. And what if you want to get your kids involved, or, your spouse, your partner, whatever, and you want to get them in? It's almost impossible just to have fun and just get a $400 jersey. Like I think Kings Care now, Riley, what is this? They're starting at 400 or 600 now, 400 or 500.
Yeah, I remember before when I first got in, the starting bid was like $200, but now the starting bids are like 400, and on the bigger guys, the starting bids are like 800 even on some on big names like Kempe and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're just a lot. And I think like Riley, I think it was you had told, was it you that told me, or Trevor, about what did the Vegas guy say? He was cool. What was he saying?
Oh yeah, when I was trying to get, I know everybody's gonna shame me, Kings fan, buying a Vegas jersey, but that guy was super nice. We were talking. I wanted a couple guys that played in Henderson that came here to Ontario to play, and we were working out a deal and we were kind of haggling. And then he at some point told me, "Well, the jersey brings no value to us just sitting here."
He's right.
Yeah.
I think more teams need to adopt that mindset.
Yeah. If it's hanging on a rack in a closet, it doesn't help. And we talked a little bit last week with the Avalanche auction. Right in there on the front page of their auction, it lists what the fair market value is for all of these. And I think it was $425 or something like that. And I know a lot of the other teams, I think, have adopted right around that price point. All of that above that is cake if they get it at auction. I mean, if it goes, yes, and some of those sell for crazy money. So if it's costing them $425 a jersey and 80% sell for more than that, yes, they're going to take a loss on a few. But at the end, it really washes out for them anyway.
I just always wonder about that fair market value because they buy this stuff in bulk, right? So to me, it's like, what? How much are they really? We're never going to really know what they really pay for them. Plus, like
honestly, though,
the
it's
kids, right?
It is pretty close to that price. I've talked to people that have dealt on the back end of what like team sets cost in that and what their lettering, whoever does their lettering, it's not far off that actual price.
From about 400.
Yeah. So with even though I mean whatever Fanatics, because I knew it more for Reebok before talking to people that did the buying like that. I think at the time with the Reeboks, I was told it was like $225 or $245 a jersey from the time you buy it from Reebok, and then it goes to whoever does the team lettering, landed at about that price. So it's not out of the realm that price is probably pretty close within a handful of dollars.
It's pretty close to that 250, 300 range is what the teams pay for the jerseys. Because I mean, they're
2 to
paying
3, because he was saying 4. Is it 2, 3, or 4?
I mean, it's in that range.
If it's the Kings,
it depends on how they. I mean, here's the thing: each team, it depends on how much who they letter with, how much the letter kit is. I mean, that fair market value is in that range. I guess if that's probably the best way to put it.
3 to 5, 3 to 4.
I would say, yeah, absolutely. The jerseys themselves are still costing. They're not giving them to them.
Right. So let's say they auction it off. Here's the question. Let's say they auction it off. Let's say, they're spending $400 a jersey or whatever. And let's say that like when the Kings did put starting bids at 200, whatever, like we were saying back in the day, right, Riley? So let's say something just stays at that. Like it just stays at a very low. So the team is technically taking a loss, right?
Yeah.
Technically. But is that their write-off?
Should be.
Interesting question.
I did pull up one of my invoices from earlier this year from the Blues for buying a team issue.
Because they're not going to lose money.
No.
Even if they're losing money, they're not losing money. There's no way. Right? Look at Paul's checking in, right?
I mostly agree with you. I mean, there's, I don't understand tax law well enough to say anything that I'd want anyone to repeat. But to put it mildly, there's still a value. It's an expense that they need to operate the team. You cannot operate a hockey team without jerseys. I mean, you might be able to find a way to do it, just have the team wear their own shirts or something. But the team, if you're going to be a professional hockey team, you really have to have an expense, buy jerseys, an expense for that. So the fact that they're able to resell them afterwards, which remember years ago they didn't, they're actually recovering part of the equipment and operating costs there.
Yeah, before the Kings used to say the money went back to the players. Before the Kings game used was a part of Kings Care, which it just recently has done that over the past few years. Before they said supposedly that money went back to the players for what they needed for things and stuff. That's what we were told. So it went into like a players fund for like their needs and wants for their stuff.
Well, the equipment managers used to use that, used to use the jerseys as supplemental income. I mean, everybody knows that. That's how a lot of that stuff for years got, you're talking 70s, 80s, early 90s. That's how that stuff got out was, that stuff was paid for by the team and then backdoored by the equipment people to offset costs. And again, you could always say, oh, that went back to the players or back to the equipment, whatever. But I mean, that kind of is what it is, right?
But
I did pull a Blues invoice from one of my last auctions. They list their fair market value at $300.
And the only point of that number is for your tax deduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just got to take that off what you paid, and then the rest is a charitable donation above that.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable saying that part of tax law. But
good job, Paul. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Going back to when the Sharks had the equipment sale run by the Sharks, and it was run by the Sharks and the Sharks Foundation, their charity wing. And there was a split for the stuff sold there. There was a split between going back to the team for buying more equipment and to the charity wing. I never got the exact breakdown of what it was, but the Sharks Foundation did profit from the equipment sale. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Sharks Foundation employees ran the equipment sale with like Mike and Vinny, the equipment managers, and a few others of the equipment staff. But rather than now when it's salespeople from Emmerich, back then it was the people who worked for the Sharks Foundation, and they were making money for the foundation, for the charity. And Wade's right, a lot of backdoor deals and stuff, and that who knows where that money goes. But that's
and we'll move on from that. One final update from you in regards to Vegas.
Well, I have actually two updates, and I'll get. I want to mention we talked about Jersey Page a little bit earlier. We found a couple minor problems on the page with the transition to the new server. One of them's been the official email for contacting support for Jersey Page is now admin@jerseypage.com. The Gmail address we were having problems with, so that's gone, and those were bouncing, so that's working. But we do have an issue right now if you're signing up for Jersey Page, or if you're trying to change your password. Emails from Jersey Page were having some sort of issue with. It was using, not MailChimp, it was using some sort of mail service, and that is not properly configured right now. So I'm probably going to change the email service within Jersey Page itself. So be patient. If you are trying to sign up and you're not getting the email you need to authenticate yourself with, message me or send an email to admin@jerseypage.com and I'll get it fixed right away, because I can authenticate your account from the back end of it easily. We will have this stuff worked out soon. It's part of the growing and transition page pains. We've had a lot of people hit the page after the show last week, which is great.
And we had a great user message me through the Dirty Laundry Facebook page about a couple different issues, and shot those over to Paul to get them corrected. So and I told listener David to anytime you find stuff, or he asked for a couple of things, we're going to get modified soon. Paul's busting his butt on this. If you guys find issues, whatever, reach out. If you don't want to email Paul, feel free to message me as well. I'll send it over. But he was worried that he was bothering us with problems. Like, no, please do. We want to make sure that this page is the best it can be.
Yeah, I really want to hear about problems at this point, because, with a transition of this magnitude going from server to server and the services we're using, we were bound to hit some problems, and people are finding them, and I appreciate that, and we will get them fixed. And then on top of that, if you have enhancements, changes you'd like to see, I know we don't have every league and every team and every jersey manufacturer in there. We will be adding more. I want to find another way so the end user can actually add them themselves, rather than just having to ping us to keep adding to it. And that is one thing I would have changed in the design, but that might happen in the long-term future.
It'll get there.
Yes, it will. So anything on Jersey Page, we're doing our best to keep up with it, keep hitting it. We appreciate everyone going there. Like I said, the numbers I was shocked to see how many people hit it this week, or at least a number of views per jerseys and stuff. It was very nice to see. So thank you, everyone. But I did want to talk about Vegas, and we'll talk then moving to the LA Expo after this. So we have April 11th, Vegas Expo. I was pleasantly shocked the other day. I got a message from Bill, and I was like, oh, why are you sending me this? The Knights always send me stuff. Clicked on the email, because I had received this email. I hadn't looked at it. Vegas Golden Knights are advertising our expo directly. They are putting it in, like when they're advertising their upcoming games and stuff, there's a little blurb in there about the expo, where it's at, when, and that Vegas Golden Knights Authentics will be there. So I've gotten a lot of interest in it from that. Thank you, Vegas Golden Knights. It's appreciated. I hopeful we are selling a few additional tables this way, but I'm hoping that we get a lot more walkthrough traffic this way, kind of like we had in San Jose, because that just shocked me, the amount of walkthrough traffic we have. And now I'm hopeful that may be the case in Vegas. So want to thank the Knights for that and get the word out there that they did that. The other thing, if you are planning on, well, if you're coming out to Vegas and you need a place to stay, up till next Wednesday, we still have our discounted rates at New York, New York, and we still have a block of rooms set aside. After next Wednesday, what would that be? The 18th, March 18th, they're going to release those. So New York, New York's going to be very busy that weekend because it's 100 feet from the Frozen Four, and like I said, we don't know who's going to be there yet, but certain teams travel well, and New York, New York will fill up based on some of the teams. And then Doc, I know you were able, as we're talking hotel rooms, you got an offer that you appreciated.
Yeah, on the booking page that we use, they had a nice upgrade offer to a 500 square foot spa suite room. It was $30 extra a day, which is nice because I think the standard hotel room is like $425, which doesn't sound that big. It's just cool to have a big ass hotel room in Vegas.
So I was happy you upgraded.
Many of us will spend a lot of time in our hotel rooms that time we're there.
You might be soaking in the morning when you're trying to recover. So
highly possible.
Yeah.
Lots of liquid IV coming along with me. So
we'll talk more about Vegas and keep building, mentioning, building it up in the next couple of weeks. But now tomorrow morning, we're recording this at 7:30 now here, California time. I have a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow morning to head down to LA to see Meli and Riley. So
let's go.
Go ahead, you two.
Oh, finally. It's finally here.
Riley's like, God, I wish everybody would shut the hell up. So give us, either one of you have the floor. Give us the details.
Go ahead, Riley.
Yeah, I mean, it's this Saturday. The day has finally come. It's a longer expo compared to, I feel like, most kind of in this area. We're shooting all day. It's 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So we're going to be there all day long. Same thing, you guys, going back to Vegas, Meli was actually able to pull some strings, and the LA Kings game use guys were able to shout our expo out on their Instagram page, on their little Instagram story. So we now have another team getting pretty heavily involved, just like Vegas. We ended up selling 32 tables total, I think. Yeah, 32 tables total. So there's going to be a pretty good amount of people there. I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping the foot traffic is. San Jose was crazy. Like Paul said, I was shocked with how many people showed up. But with the Kings being on the road, with how much we've promoted it, I'm expecting a good amount of people to walk in. I really am.
And that's great. Have the Kings indicated like what kind of stuff they're planning on bringing?
Not necessarily. Last year, they brought a handful of bigger names, Fiala, players kind of like that, and then they brought a lot of like rookie tournaments, preseason. It's a good mix. They bring everything though: jerseys, sticks, helmets, skates. Last year they brought all kinds of stuff, so I'm expecting the same. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there's some new logo stuff in there. I do know one thing that's for sure going to be there, but I don't want to say it out loud because it may or may not be a surprise for someone on this podcast. So I don't want to say anything yet on that, but there is
Zamboni.
Yeah, no, there is one thing that's going to be there for sure. But I'm really hoping there's some new logo stuff in there, maybe rookie camps, preseasons, something like that.
That is awesome. Yeah. But how many tables you guys have booked?
32 total.
Good for you guys. That's awesome.
I think we could have even had more, but unfortunately, some of our regular collectors weren't able to make it because of like surgeries and some of them just the work schedules. It's just hard. We can't get everybody's schedule, but we can only plan it when the Kings are not playing. So I know a lot of people want it to happen on the day when the Kings play. But unfortunately, LA Kings game use cannot come on a day when the Kings are home. So that's why we always have to plan. They've already told us that. So they can only come when the Kings are away.
Well, here's what you tell them next at your expo when it's wrapped up, so you don't piss them off before. Let them know that the Blues game use people do come to the St. Louis Expo on game days. because there's been a lot of home games where they've come and done the show till 2 or 3 wait, and then they pack up and head to their rink to do the game. Yeah. So let them know, hey, other teams
after.
Off.
After.
We'll
I don't
just shame them. We'll shame them. We'll get it done for you.
Or
this will be the 3rd year that we got them coming.
Maybe they can let you host the expo in the concourse at Staples. I mean, crypto.
Oh,
I tried with the rain. I did try with the Ontario Reign. I begged them, but the thing that sucked about the rain is the ownership of the team and the ownership of the stadium or the arena themselves are 2 different people.
Oh, okay.
Like the city owns Toyota Arena where the Reign play, but then the Reign are owned by a different individual. So we tried, but there's always concerts and stuff going on there. So we just got unlucky. I mean, if we could get crypto one day, that would be, unheard of, but shoot for the stars, right? Maybe one day.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think too, it's like every year, from when we started this, Michael Rulin and I started it many years ago, and we were in a tiny little room with, I want to say we had like 9 tables of people. It was right before COVID. Right before COVID. It was in 2020, yeah? Or 2020. When did the world shut down? 2020, right?
2020 is when we shut down, yeah.
So it was in March of 2020. And then, we just said, hey, let's just get together. Let's just do this. And it grew and grew and grew. And now, now me and Riley and Trevor have taken it over. And now we kind of moved it over here. We changed the name a little bit. But, it's interesting because I never thought like the amount of collectors. And we're talking like the collectors. I'm so excited because everybody that's coming just has fantastic stuff. Like, it's not just like, meh, no. Each person has their own little niche, their own little thing. Everybody that's coming, I either know well or know of, or had some kind of contact online or something. Of course, we have our dear friends from San Jose that are coming, new friends from San Jose. We have collectors that have come since the very first show that are going to be there, and some coming back that weren't able to come because of, conflict of, just scheduling and what. It's hard because, just like San Jose, LA is just such a big, gigantic, ginormous, humongous place, right? And so, there's millions and millions of people, and there's millions and millions of things to do. So to get the people there to support this hobby, I think is just absolutely fantastic. And, we got a lot of teams represented. And, yes, of course it's on LA and, our Kings and everything, but, we got the San Jose people, we got people coming from other places, flying in, coming in, traveling, driving. But so there's a little bit of everything. But I do want to kind of shout out to any duck collectors. Are there any Anaheim duck collectors? Because we have been trying to get some duck people to bring their stuff, because I know they're out there, and those are, one of our rival teams, but it's all love for the hobby. We want some duck stuff, and Riley couldn't get a hold of them. I even asked who does game used for the ducks, and I was told that the game used thing is kind of like they give their gamers to their season ticket holders or something like. And we've tried to reach out. Riley's been on some duck pages and nobody really bites. So I don't know. I know they're out there, but I know there's probably some people that have some amazing duck collection. And I think that would be really cool to bring them on in. That way we have the California teams represented in the room, and we just haven't been able. So maybe they can reach out to you guys, and you guys could let us know if they reach out to you guys, any duck collectors that want to take part in it next year. We would love to have them and have their collections being able to be seen and enjoyed by others, and just the camaraderie of all of us together. We've built such wonderful relationships over the years. Like, I'm just excited to see everybody again. And that was the whole thing in San Jose. We had such a blast, and that we're so excited that we get to see each other again, at least the people that are making it out. And we're hoping that, now I'm going to Vegas. I just told Paul just the other day that I decided that we would be able to make it. So I hope that maybe we can make this like the trifecta thing where all of us go to each other's expos, at least on this end, and just be supportive of each other and the teams and all of that. And I think it's just exciting, and especially for people who like maybe they're saying, well, it's not just the Kings. I think that's important. It's like when we do these expos that you have a lot of representation, and history and just storytelling. And that's just the most fun part about it. I mean, the relationships, the storytelling, and just the story, everything to do with the gear. And like I always joke, the San Jose, the big joke the last time was like, I said, I don't collect gear. Like Meli does not collect gear, yet I have all this gear. So that was the joke. I say to her, how is this happening? What's going on? And so, I ended up getting Luke Robitaille gear that I have. I got my first goalie mask. So that's coming. Nobody's seen it. I just got it. So I'm bringing that. I don't even collect goalie masks, but somehow I don't collect gear, but I have a mask. So I'm bringing that. I'm super stoked about. I always wanted one. I go just so I need Mitch to see it. I got to show it to Mitch.
That's awesome.
So I'm bringing that. So I'm super excited, especially the collectors that are coming that haven't come for a few years. We had some collectors come back for various different reasons, and I'm super stoked to see. We have some collectors are coming with Hall of Fame stuff for real, like Hall of Fame stuff. So there's no joking around here. It's going to be some serious stuff, but at the same time, a lot of fun. I'm super excited. I can't wait to film. I can't wait to take pictures of everybody. Can't wait to give hugs and see how we've been doing since the San Jose show. And the tables are great. We got the 8-foot tables, right, Riley?
Yep.
We got the 8-foot tables. We got the setup. The room is fantastic. Riley can tell you a little bit about the where it's going to be.
Oh yeah, so the room we got was essentially these 4 sections, and we condensed it down to 3 essential sections to kind of not tightly fit everybody in, but kind of keep us all grouped together. And then luckily, the nice thing I think is they blocked off the 4th section of the room, and we're going to be able to use that as a quote unquote storage area, so people don't have to unload everything, take it back to their car, buy a jersey, take it back to their car. Everything is going to be all within this one room. But that side room is going to be a displayer only area where you can put your stuff, you can eat, you can drink if you just want to step away from everybody. So the setup is nice. The room is huge. The hotel has been great. We're ready to go. I mean, it's been a long 6 months, and I'm just ready. I really am. Like I can't say it any better than that. I'm ready to go.
And the cool thing too is like now we've moved it closer to the LA County hub. So that's another reason why some collectors were able to come back. I don't know why they were complaining, but sorry guys, but they didn't want to make the drive to Valencia. Now we're in Arcadia. I think it's even the LA Kings Game Use guys were like, yeah, so we're closer, because just the proximity makes it easier for people, especially if they're coming from Orange County. So just the local collectors, I think, are happy that Riley was able to do such a good job in getting us such an amazing room at good rates, just to make this hobby happen. And, because if you're not meeting other collectors and visiting and sharing and just enjoying each other's company, what are we really doing here? That's how I feel. And you have collectors that are buying these $1 million jerseys and stuff, and that's great. But what about the little guys? What about the people that love those 4th liner guys that just have their collections that they just want to show and talk about? And that's the most fun because sure, I talk all the time, my Instagram where I have my collection, I talk to collectors all the time. We talk, we have such a good time talking, but it's even more fun when you do it in person. So if you haven't been a part of it, it's worth it. I know Riley and I have been working with different collectors that might have been more apprehensive and didn't want to show off. They have these amazing collections, but they don't know how to do it, what's involved, the cost, and so what we do is try to help them say, hey, your first time, it's nothing. You can bring some shirts and fold them on the table. It doesn't matter. At the basic minimum, it's still storytelling and it's still sharing in a hobby that we all love. Right. So, and then I always say, talk to me and I'll help you. I'll send you stuff you can buy to put up a collection, to put it the way you want. And that's the most fun to see. How does everybody display their, their items, which is exciting. I love to see everybody's creativity, how they put things, in the San Jose, both San Jose expos that I attended, I was able to learn from fellow collectors different ways to show jerseys, display them in a way that maybe shows its wear better, or just like the flow of the fabric better. Mitch helped me this last one because I forgot my hangers. And I was like, Paul, Mitch, and Mitch goes, I don't care what you take. So he said, I don't care here. So he gave me these stands that I had never thought about using before, and they were fantastic. His daughter was showing them to me, and I go, those are great, because I also brought some stuff, and I brought the wrong screws. So I was a mess. And so Mitch's family took care of me. And from then I started saying, hey, these are fantastic. So to new collectors that are showing for the first time on Saturday, I sent them links on Amazon from stuff that Mitch had shown me. And then 2 years ago, there were some collectors that had these really cool stands. And they shared with me, well, those are really plant stands. Like you put a plant on them, but you can put the jerseys on them. So I forget who that was, but they were super amazing with me a couple of years ago. So I have lots of different stands and things. And it's fun for me because I go on my iPad and I draw it out. Like, what's it going to look like? Who am I going to bring? Because, I have so many jerseys. I have to think, well, which ones do I want to bring that's good? People are going to say, oh, that's so cool. Or let's, spark up a conversation. Or if I bring something that's meh and everybody's like, wow, that's not fun to talk about. So I try to bring stuff that maybe can tell a story, like World Junior stuff that, where USA won gold, 50th Kings jerseys, my Luke All-Star jerseys, which are always like showstoppers. I love those. I know that I got from Classic. When Luke sold a lot of his stuff to Mark out of his own closet. Remember that was a few years ago? I don't know if you guys remember that. Like Luke Robitaille cleared out his closet with all this amazing stuff. So I actually have the one one of his all-stars that I love that's on a Pro Set card, that I used to love that card as a child, that now I own that jersey. So that's just crazy to me. And then the other, like a few months ago, I met a guy who was this amazing rock musician. And we just started talking, and he had from that sale Luke's helmet and 2 of his skates. And he says, look, you love Luke. Let me sell these to you. I don't know why I have them. So I ended up getting those, and they were from that same Classic auction. So I'm bringing those. So it's so cool to see the transition of gear from, the 80s, 90s, right, to now. And that was cool. So I have like Luke's helmet and his gear. And then recently I picked up some newer stuff. Like I have Kempy's skates, and I was able to get his steel, which, because the Kings sell the skates without it. I don't know if most teams do that or not. And again, I don't collect gear, but I have gear. So now the steel, the guys put their nicknames on them, right? Just like their sticks. And I was clueless because I don't collect gear. Well, I was like, wait, Kempy's skates don't have the steel on them. And so LA Game used, shout out to Mark DeLeon. He goes, I'll hook you up, girl. Let me help you. So he was able to get me Kempy's steel that says Juice on it, which is Kempy's nickname. So, and I learned how to pop those things in, because I have skates that I've had forever that I use, but they're so old. They're like such old ice skates, but they still work. It doesn't have that trigger thing where you stick it in, and I don't collect gear. So I had to learn, like, how does that work? So I learned how to do that, and I love it. And I'm going to display my non-gear gear that I don't collect. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to do that. And last night I stayed up really late drawing it all out on my iPad and trying to decide in my collection closet what's going to make people happy to talk about stuff. So that's kind of how I think about it. Like, what am I going to bring that's going to make people happy to talk about Kings hockey to me?
I love it.
How fancy of display are you going to have, Riley?
So I'm going to be doing, I guess you call it triple decker. So basically I'm going to kind of do on the top row, I'm going to do the best, like Kings and Reign logos or jerseys that they had. So I'm going to show the fronts. The middle row is going to be kind of like some of the Kings' bigger names that I have. And then the bottom row will just be kind of like guys that came and went, fourth liners. But my goal is to do 3 rows of Kings and Reign players.
But the question is, do you have gear?
Some gear. I have. I don't collect gear, right? I don't collect gear, but somehow I end up getting gear as well.
Gear.
Yeah.
Well, that's
everybody
what
says that, and it ends up just falling in their laps.
Well, that's what happened last year. So when LA Kings Game Used came, it was so cool because Mark brought some different stuff, and he had, the boards they actually write on. You know how they write on the boards?
Oh, yes.
He had some old ones. I said, "Oh my God, I have to have that." He goes, "I knew you'd want it." He goes, "I don't know why, but I knew you'd want it because I'm a school teacher." So now that board is in my right behind me on my desk on the whiteboard is the Kings board. And I tell the kids, they don't care because my students really aren't hockey fans. But I tell them anyway, I go, "Look, they used to write all the plays on here." So now I use it to write math equations on it. So I use that board. So he brought it. So for just, I'd like to think Mark brought it for me to buy it. So I got that. But I got some really good jerseys last year. I got a Fiala, I got a Deneau, I got a Kempe. And he threw in some Fiala gloves. And I don't collect gear. Okay, but here are these gloves. And he goes, "You have to check them out, man, because I'm not a hockey player, so I don't understand all that stuff." So he goes, "Just put them on your hands. Put them on your hands." He goes, "See how the inside?" He goes, "These are special made. Each player picks how they want their gloves to feel and all that." So Fiala's gloves are very silky. Okay, they're very soft. So now I use them at home when I'm watching the game. I put them on and I hit them and I go, "Let's go."
See, now you're going to be addicted to gear, Meli.
Right. So now Fiala's hurt, so I'm completely bummed because that's one of my boys. But the gloves are so cool, So I'm like, okay, I kind of get the gear thing, So
It sounds like
I'm
you
not
collect
bringing.
gear. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not. So like, I don't know, But
I think I disagree.
Actually, I know. But actually, like, I do need, if anybody's out there, I need a Dustin Brown helmet, and I need some Dustin Brown glove. Just one pair. I just want one. I don't want to hoard it. I just want one because I got Dustin Brown skates. I don't collect gear. I don't collect gear, but I will be bringing Brownie skates for the first time. So I'm excited about that. So my gear, non-gear. Oh, and I'm bringing a really cool stick that I got in the 90s from Bob Miller. I won a raffle at Hollywood Park. This is way before SoFi Stadium and all that, back when it was just Hollywood Park. And the Kings had a Tip-A-King there. And I was super young then. And I bought a raffle ticket for $1. And they were raffling off a game-used Rob Blake team autograph stick. And I said, "Oh man, I got to have that." But I didn't even have it. I paid like $1. And I got like a strip of tickets. It's like they gave you like 5 tickets for $1, whatever it was. And when they picked out of it, everybody's on the stage. Bob Miller's on the stage, and he picked my ticket. And so I was like, I won. So here I am going up there, and Bob Miller gave me Rob Blake's game-used team autograph stick, and I'm bringing it on Saturday. Because I was like, I was so excited to get, and again, I don't collect gear, and this was crazy. I go, I can't believe I have this giant stick. Like, I had no idea. I knew they were big, but Blake is big, right? So the stick is humongous. And then I got scared because people were looking at me like, at that time, it was like what, the 90s, whatever, like, I don't even know, early 90s. And then they're looking at me, and I thought, wow, are people gonna like try to take the stick from me? So I was like, and my sister's like, let's go, because I was with my sister at the time, and we ran to the car, and people were kind of following me to try. So I don't know, at that time, maybe it wasn't as easy to get the sticks or something. I don't know. I was young. So I'm bringing that because I just found it again. It was in the corner of my house with the sticks I don't collect. They're right there. So I'm going to bring that. So I'm excited with that.
You clearly don't collect gear.
No.
No.
That was actually the first gear that I don't collect that I got. And it's just been like, I used to hang it on the wall, and then I kind of put it away. But I think that's a storytelling thing. So for me, it's all about the stories. I'm bringing all that kind of stuff. And I'm super excited to see the new collectors coming and just breaking out of their like non-wanting to show. And I'm super proud of them for doing this on Saturday and coming out, because the stuff they have is fantastic. And it's exciting to have them show it, and I hope they like it, and that maybe they want to go to Vegas, or maybe next year they'll go to San Jose too, and then we'll start kind of bridging the gaps between the three teams and just kind of sharing and being able to talk about what we collect, and just exciting to share all of it, because otherwise what's it doing? It's just in the closet, right? Where is it at? I mean, I don't know. I don't have a man cave, so I only have a 1,200 square foot house. So in my closet, it's a double decker closet because I had my friend like give me the real strong reinforced bars. Obviously, I had the closet redone. But if I'm not doing the expo, who's looking at them besides me? Like my spouse always goes, "Oh, you're happy," or "You're looking at your own Instagram because you're looking at your jersey," or "I'm looking at the closet." Right? It's like she's like, "Oh, I know you're happy. You're looking at your jerseys." I'm like, "Yeah," but if I'm not looking at them, who's looking at them? Right? We hoard them and we go, "Look at my jerseys," but if you're not sharing them and talking about them, what are you doing? Right? What's the point? I don't know. Right? You got to story tell.
U-Haul are you taking to the expo?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to
one
tell
of
you guys. Okay, I have to tell you this because I was texting Riley and Trevor last night. I don't know if I came. I'm sure some of you guys are saying I already do that, and everybody knows, all the collectors know, when you're going to the expo, we all have our tubs, right? Everybody's folding, and you got to fold it right, and don't crease the crest, and watch the kid, and la 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 la. And so it's a chore because you're like, I don't want to jack up my jerseys. I want to fold them correctly. This is taking hella long, but I'm excited, but I'm tired, and this is taking forever. So last night I was like, I got to start packing. What am I going to do? And I remembered that I have these giant duffel bags. And I said, you know what? I'm going to, because I was putting them out. I was taking them off the hanger, putting them down, taking off the hanger. I said, what if I stack them really nice, right? And neat like this, then just kind of fold it, right? Where you're not creasing the crest or the shoulders, right? Or you're not jacking anything up. You just lightly fold, right? Then you put them in the duffel bag and they stay like that. Nothing's getting creased. Nothing's getting jacked up. You're not carrying the heavy ass tubs. You're not freaking out that the weight of it is ruining something. And I go, that's the solution. I just figured out. So I'm texting Riley and Trevor. I don't know if you know, Riley was probably asleep at that time because Trevor and I were up really late. And I go, this is working, I swear. So I put it in the bag. I zipped it. I unzipped it. I picked it up. And I was like, this is working. So I've already packed my Dustin Brown because I'm doing a table of Dustin Brown, because Brownie's my boy. And I'm doing a table of Kempe when I have the Paul saw it at San Jose, the new, I got the Four Nations when Kempe scored the goal of Sweden. So that's super cool. So I have, that's a new one. And then, so I was able to, the two, and if anybody you can message me, I'll tell you what size to buy. But I think I found the solution to not having to pack tubs and worry about creasing the crest.
I love it.
Because like it's easy too. The duffel bags, you just put it, and nothing, like right now, I just checked them again. I'm like, nothing's being affected. Versus, how we stack and stack and stack in the tubs, right?
They get heavy.
And yes, it's heavy because now the weight is distributed. Science, okay, I teach science and math. Okay, the weight is distributed. So when I pick up the duffel bag, it's actually not heavy for me as a woman. I'm not going, oh God, and asking the guys to help me carry the stuff. Because usually it's so heavy, I'm asking all the guys, could you help me out? And then I'm like, I don't want to bother them because they're trying to set up their own stuff. So yesterday when I packed up the two duffel bags, I was like, oh my gosh, I just figured it out. So basically it's like a pancake taco. That's what you're doing. Do you understand what I'm saying though, how to do it? Oh, so like I was telling my spouse, I said, oh my God, I don't think I ever have to pack tubs again. So I have 4 duffel bags because I have 3 tables I'm setting up. And then so my middle table is going to be like my Luke stuff. I got some new Kyle Clifford stuff because I love Cliffy. I got some Byfield stuff. I'm putting all that up. And then my goalie mask that I don't collect, that I collect, that I have to show Mitch. So I have that. And then that's going to be my middle table. So I have 3 big bags of that. And then I'm bringing my racks. So on my racks, I like to put all my jerseys. I'm going to bring all the new ones that I had from last season. because Riley and I were able to get a bunch at first right, Riley, we got like set 2s and 3s and stuff. So I'm bringing all those. Oh, and all my USA stuff. Like I have the stuff for men's worlds gold USA. I have Mikey Asamont because he played in the Kings organization. So I have Asamont's jersey. I have Turcotte's World Junior Gold. I have a couple other. I have Martinez's. They didn't win anything on that one, but I have Marty's, and I'm going to bring some of my USA stuff because I think right now that that's exciting for me to have that USA stuff. And then the Dustin Brown USA ones are new for me too, so I'll be adding that to my brownie table.
Riley, what about you? How big of a truckload do you have to bring?
I mean, I'm keeping. I don't want to say keeping what I'm bringing a secret necessarily, just because the stuff I'm bringing isn't within my normal realm. Because everybody knows me as the guy that collects white jerseys. I've always collected nothing but white jerseys from every team. But now I'm bringing a lot of stuff that people don't necessarily know that I have. So I'm just going to say, look at pictures and show up if you want to see what I'm bringing.
I like it.
Because I'm thinking too, like people that might be apprehensive to do the expo, maybe like Paul, maybe they come on Saturday and maybe they want to do Vegas,
That would be great.
Because I know you said that Vegas wanted that you had room and that you had to get some more tables in there, right?
Yeah, we have room for more tables. The room we have fits up to 50 tables, which is pretty amazing. So,
yeah.
So we can, yeah.
So I mean, it has a great view of the casino floor.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be exciting. I think we just have to get over the stress of the packing, which I solved, so I can help you with that. The stress of the setup, which is easy because Mitch taught me about that last time. I hadn't even thought about that. But those stands that you use to like not iron. Yeah, it's like what is that? The steamer to steam your clothes. Yeah. So Mitch had a whole bunch of those. And because I forgot the screws for my thing and the hangers and all that, he said, just take whatever. I don't care, Meli, take whatever. And so I borrowed some of those and they were so easy. And the jerseys look really nice. And you can adjust like how tall you want it. So one of my tables is going to have a bunch of those guys. I mean, they're not that cheap, but I mean, I don't know. I bought little bits at a time so that I have my setup. So like those cost like less than $20 on Amazon, each little stand. And they're very compact. So once you take them all out, it's like a tripod or a 4. It's either 4 or 3. Like Mitch's were 3, but the ones I bought, they have 4. But I can put like a jersey like high and then a jersey in front, like high front like that. Because I used to put them on like platforms. And I know Riley was kind of looking at platforms. I did that for a few years, but I'm trying to think of stuff that show that's easier, that you can do it quicker. So I'm hoping that when people see the setups, they can say, hey, I can do that. And then decide to partake in Vegas and then, or maybe next year do all the 3 and just, hope, make the hobby, more exciting because what are we doing? People were collecting and collecting and collecting for what? Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Give us the details here one more time on location and all those good things. And if anybody still wants to try and book a table, are they able to?
So we are officially cut off as far as booking tables go. The hotel had asked for a 2-week heads up just because they have to set up the room and things like that. So the cutoff for tables has happened. But like I said, as far as showing up, it's 100% free. We're going to be there all day from 8 a.m. all the way until 5 p.m. So you have all day to show up when you want.
Yeah, the hotel. Let them know where the hotel is, right?
The hotel is in Arcadia. The address is, let me pull it up. It is right here. So we're going to be at the Hilton in Arcadia, and the exact address is... Probably should have had this pulled up before I came.
You're good. And while you're doing that, as a reminder again, the LA Kings are coming and bringing a lot of fun stuff. Can't wait to see those pictures.
I have the address right here.
Okay, good.
211 East Huntington Drive in Arcadia.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay,
And what's
so
the hotel brand? So people can look at that way too.
It's Hilton.
Okay, awesome.
That's
Yeah,
great.
we're gonna be. So when you walk in, for anybody that's listening, that's coming, you're gonna walk in through the front door at Hilton. You're gonna make that first right, and then walk straight down the hallway. We're in the grand ballroom, so it's walk in, turn right, walk straight down that hallway, and you'll probably see one of us.
and then
For
if
all
you
the
want
hockey
to come,
stuff.
yeah, for the gear, like that, LA Kings, they're going to bring, like a lot of times they bring player hoodies, affordable. They'll bring player hoodies. Uh, um, they'll bring all the gloves. I know they have the sticks. They have like rare things like that whiteboard that I got that was really cool. I mean, it's so neat to know that they use that in actual games and stuff. So like they'll bring that. That's what he had brought last time. And then a lot of different jerseys, like a ton of different ones. He had them all like rolled up and rubber banded. And he was just starting to pull out players. Like, I don't know how it's going to be this year. I mean, I hope it's at least that or better, but I don't know, because now that King's Care kind of took over, I'm very surprised to see. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. But last year, how Riley, he just was pulling stuff out.
I mean, last year he had 2 tables that were completely cut. There was not an empty space on 2 tables, and he was still pulling players out of the duffel bag on the side. This year they asked for 3 tables, even with them being bigger tables. They still wanted 3, so I'm expecting a lot.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was
to see those pictures.
I was really impressed with what the Kings brought last year. It was just amazing, just going through the jerseys, and I didn't even realize I had sticks there till the end because they were hidden behind there, and it's they brought a lot of stuff. Monica and I went home with a number of jerseys. We're not Kings fans, but the jerseys are incredible. A number of jerseys and a number of the hoodies. The player hoodies are so incredibly nice. So
yeah, that's another thing I said I wasn't going to collect, and I have a closet of player hoodies.
But you can wear.
I always
those.
say no more, and I still
yeah.
get them. Yeah, so I think it's going to be great. I think they're going to, if they ask for 3 tables, I'm sure they're going to have at least what they had brought last time. And I know for one thing, the collectors that already have the tables, Riley and Trevor and I had already talked about it and said that the collectors that have paid and purchased the tables, they get first shot at what's going to be sold from the Kings. So, I mean, not everybody's going to want to buy King. Like Paul said, you're not a Kings fan, you're just there to support. But, those people, so those of you who are actually attending the show that bought a table, you kind of get first crack at that stuff. Yeah, at first. And then Riley, I don't know if you want to go over the rules and stuff for that, for what we're saying.
Oh yeah, so the only rules really for people that are coming is no outside food or drink. The hotel was pretty tight about that. Same thing for displayers, no outside food or drink. They will have drinks for us there, and there's a full bar and restaurant stuff in the hotel. Another thing for people that are coming, we're not allowing outside jerseys to come in. Every jersey that's purchased, traded, things like that has to come from within the expo itself, just because there was a handful of, we'll just say, bigger name collectors that decided not to come, and I think it wouldn't be fair to the displayers, the people that paid to have their jerseys there, to just have someone walk in with a whole collection and start selling it off to people. So the only time we're going to allow people to bring in a jersey from the outside is if you're wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are that. You see somebody wearing 10 at once, you'll be okay.
Yeah. I'll say, wait a minute. Yeah, that we just thought that was not okay, especially because people are paying. I just don't understand why it's difficult to pay for $100 table when you're buying $1,000 jersey. I don't understand why. That part of the hobby I don't understand, because like when Paul said for San Jose, what does it cost, Paul? It costs this. Here, Paul, send the money. What does it cost for Vegas, Paul? It costs this. If you're buying $1,000 jerseys, why do you complain about $100 table? Because we have to pay for the venue. If the venue was free, it wouldn't cost anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless we're giving it to charity or something. So I've never come across so many different collectors that I love that will not come because they don't want to pay for. That's a whole nother. I'm sure that's a whole nother episode. Why they don't want to pay $100 to show off their collection and help pay for the venue. I don't understand, but they'll pay $1 million for Gretzky's jersey, but they don't want to pay $100 for the table. So that's why when Riley and I talked about it, and Trevor, and we said, some of these guys, and I love you guys, and you know who you are. You cannot come in with your big old tote of stuff because you want to trade and barter. Like, that's just not cool, because the money, the venue itself is very costly. It's not like, oh, they're giving it to us for $100. It doesn't go like that. And, we've had to pay and get people to pay and say, come on, but it seems like it's like we're asking people to pay $1,000 for the table. We're not, so those of you who paid right away, I just want to thank you on behalf of myself and Trevor and Riley for doing that for us to support our hobby. I really appreciate you. And if you didn't want to pay, please ask yourself why. Why are you not supporting? Because honestly, $100 really is nothing in this collecting. Like, we're not asking for a lot. So all of us here can 100's nothing. That's Starbucks. It doesn't matter. So thank you for those of you who paid on time, who didn't complain, and who is supporting us with the show. I'm super happy. But again, we don't want people bringing in a bunch of. Some people have already messaged me, and they said, "Oh, you mean I can't bring my box of whatever?" And it's like, no, you cannot. And they're not happy about that. But I think there's a time. We don't want a bunch of people bringing their collections when they're not willing to pay like everybody else, because I don't feel that's fair. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
You're just asking for people to support your show.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I do agree with you there, Meli. There's also another segment of the collector population which falls outside of what you're describing. These are collectors who haven't displayed before, who might not have a large collection, who don't, or might, think that people really aren't even interested in what they have, and they're hesitant to get a table. And that's the, I think that's the other end of it from, what you're describing, which are more experienced collectors who have closets full of jerseys, who, for whatever reason, don't want to get a table. And the other reason why people don't want to get a table, some people are very private with their collection, but they're also not going to be the ones walking in with a tub of jerseys, because they're that just makes them cheap, not private.
Right. Well, and the other thing though, like Paul, with people that are new to the collecting or just new to the, we have people this year that are coming that it's their very first time, and they were apprehensive, but me and Riley and Trevor have been there for anybody who needed help. Like, I help anybody who needs help with anything, displays, trying to find King stuff, proxy bidding, whatever it is. I always say, you can contact me. I'll help you as much as I can. And I have helped a lot of new collectors decide like what to bring, like what they could bring, picking and choosing, and also what kind of displays, from the cheapest things. Like I said, the cheapest thing you could do is bring what you have and your good attitude and fold the jerseys on the table. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
that's my plan for Saturday. So it's
there's nothing wrong with that, because it's still storytelling. That's what I said. It's all about the story of the garment itself. How'd you get it? Where'd it come from? Tell me about the players. I don't know every player. I don't know all the history of every single thing, but I love to ask, even if it's not my team. Like in San Jose, like, I'm not a Sharks fan, but I love being with you guys because of the camaraderie that we have, and we all get along so well and have so much fun. But I still say, like, that's the Sharks jerseys. They're still good looking jerseys. Like, who is this player? How long were they on the team? What did they do? Look at Riley got his WW whatever jersey, right? He was part of the Kudamania. There you go. Like the Kudamania, and so we had a blast. Right? And Gina's doing it right now on the couch. But like, that was exciting to me because it's a story. So every time Riley wears that jersey, he's going to talk about the fun we had in San Jose, and Riley's not a Sharks fan or a Cuda fan, but that jersey's amazing because of the story behind it and what it looks like. And he's a big wrestling guy. So Riley loves wrestling. So he that day he that weekend he taught me about what wrestling, because I know nothing about that stuff. So he was teaching me, and we had a blast, you know. So that's what it is. It's the memories and the stories, you know, and that's why I don't want people to be intimidated. I want people to feel supported. So that's where I am. And I'd also like to see, we never talk about this, but I'd also like to see more female collectors coming in, because we're there. There's not very many of us, but we're there. And so, you know, we're buying stuff and we have things and we have stories to tell too. And it's hard sometimes, but most of my friends, all my hockey friends are mostly guys. They're all my buddies and I love them to death and I appreciate them so much. I have very few female collector buddies because we're kind of a rare breed, I think. I think so, you know, but I would love it. And I know we had one a few years ago, but right now they're just not, they're unable to do so because of family issues. But I would love it if some females come and say, "Hey, I have a collection. I want," like even Riley's girlfriend. She has a great collection. You know, maybe she would want to come and do that. She's not doing it this year, right?
She's throwing in her. We'll call it a collab.
Together. Okay, yeah. So Callie's wonderful. Like, it's nice to have the females come out, and I don't want them to feel intimidated. I want them to come out and say, "Hey, if Meli's doing it and Kelly's doing it, I can do it too." You know, and Monica too. You know, she gets in with the hobby and she supports it and stuff. And like in San Jose, there were some female collectors, and that's really cool to see that. And I think that, you know, it's neat. It just needs to not feel like I'm the only one, is what I'm saying. So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see, like in Vegas, are there any female collectors coming?
Well, you know, Monica's going to be there. I'm not sure. I don't know where my list went to.
I heard a rumor that entire collection is actually Monica's, by the way.
Yeah. I know, but that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, no, you know, Jean will be there, John Nordell's wife, you know, and she collects too. I'm trying to think who else.
Because that's exciting. I think that's exciting.
Yeah,
especially
so
like husband and wives. It's wonderful when they're in the hobby together, because then they're not hiding stuff. You know?
Exactly. Yes.
You know, that's the cool thing when they're just as excited about the hobby as their spouse. That's when it's fun, because then it's like support, and then you plan your budgets around what you're purchasing and whatnot. And I think that's really cool.
Agree 100%. So
with that, I think we'll wrap this up. Paul or Wade, do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I mean, I love the enthusiasm of all you guys. And, you know, Meli, I think it's always fun to see your excitement. Riley, I know how passionate you are about all this stuff. So, I mean, good luck with the show. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to grow. I hope someday my schedule clears up enough where I can be a guest out there and visit with you guys as well. And nothing but the best. And, you know, to Paul, all the hard work for the Vegas show is appreciated.
Yes.
I know how much effort you put into it. So, you know, my hats off.
Are both of you guys coming, Wade? You and Doc to Vegas?
I'm not sure yet. My schedule has been pretty crazy. I've got some family stuff going on and some things I'm having to take care of here. So it's been a little bit tough locking my schedule down just with some stuff. But I'm definitely going to try to get out to all the shows over the next couple of years. It's always a goal of mine. So
that's Riley and I were talking about that once we get this West Coast stuff down, we do want to go to some of the East Coast shows and actually represent out there, which is a small setup, you know, nothing fancy, but something easy to travel with, just to go meet. I love all these collector friends that I have, and I'd love to meet them in person. Yeah. Like even Doc, like I've seen you forever, and you're going to Vegas, right?
Yep, I will be there.
Okay, so I get to meet you in person, so I'm excited about that.
No, and part of the thing too, and from my experience of going to shows that are long travel, it's not even about the setups or the how much you can bring or what you can bring to display. It's really about just getting there to see the people. That's just as much of the fun. So,
yeah, I'd like to do that.
I think it's awesome. I love your enthusiasm. So thank you for being such a fun and happy member of our community.
I am so looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's
Me too.
Be down there tomorrow morning. I already brought my jerseys down there last weekend, so I brought a suitcase on Southwest. So I did my checked bag last week when I was down there. So those are there. Yes, I did put an air tag in them and made.
I know. That's so scary to me.
Well, Southwest has decent digital tracking now for your bag, so we'll tell you when it gets on the plane, when it gets off, and
okay.
It made it quickly there, and basically, I exited the plane, walked downstairs at LAX, and within 2 minutes, my bag was there. And then,
nice.
Walked out, grabbed
the
an Uber.
The AirTag is definitely a game changer in my humble opinion. When I'm traveling with jerseys or putting stuff in my bag, that having that AirTag in there is like such a level of comfort. Like I don't even think I can put into words how much better I feel about my travels whenever I have that AirTag.
Totally agree.
So Paul, the big question is, how's Mitch getting over here?
Mitch is driving. He is. Both of us. Have a 6:40 a.m. flight tomorrow. Mitch is leaving Redwood City about 6 a.m.
Okay.
So and he's bringing some display stuff for me to use because I only brought down jerseys, And I'm bringing another.
I think he made something. He fabricated something new. He's been teasing about. Is he bringing that?
Does. Yes, I think it's for his masks, but I'm not exactly sure. But
but he collects gear.
Yes, Mitch does collect gear. And he will admit it. So
I need him to fabricate something for my one goalie mask that I don't collect, but the one that I have, I need something because I don't know what to do with it. Like,
well, he has those stands for him. They're teal, but you can live with that. And then they rotate on the top. And you saw it at the expo. How he
I need something like fancy like that. He's got to come on, Mitch. You better fix it for me.
And of course, lights. He might leave one there, so we can
come
work
on
Mitch.
Mitch.
Yes.
Well, he'll probably listen to the podcast on a drive, so he'll have planned all this stuff out once he gets there.
Yeah. Well, and one thing real quick on the air tags, I like putting one in a fight strap or on an occasional jersey, just in case the bag gets lost and then gets separated. Because normally if you have the air tag directly in the bag, like in one of the pouches, it will stay in the bag.
Yep.
But if it stays with one of the jerseys, hopefully we never have to test this theory.
Ironically enough, I was actually I have a Samsung phone. I have one of Samsung's tracking tags. Those batteries are replaceable. So I threw a brand new battery in it yesterday, tested it. Same thing, planning with Vegas. I also did confirm United does the same kind of bag tracking thing as well. But yeah, same thing is that tracker will go either little hockey tape so it doesn't fall on the fight strap, whatever. But yeah, I'll tuck it in the one.
Smart, yeah. It's like, so I had no stress last week, heading down with the first bag of jerseys. And now I have a carry-on bag, which since I already have my clothes down there, it's all full of jerseys. And Mitch offered to bring a bag back.
You don't need to worry about your clothes. You just no worries about clothes. Just
I can just go shopping when I get there.
Yeah.
So.
Just come and buy something over here. Just bring the jerseys.
Oh yeah, no, I know I'll pick up something from the LA Kings Authentics. There's actually two things I wanted to mention real quick. Last year when the LA Kings were there, and you mentioned about people getting early access if you have a table and that. I thought people were great dealing with the LA Kings. There was no mad rush. There was no fighting over jerseys. If two people wanted to see the same jersey, someone looked at it first. If they didn't want it, the other person took it. There was no hard feelings. No, it was just really, really nice. It was a great vibe.
Yeah, I like to do that too. Like I always like to talk to all my friends that collect, especially Riley and Trevor. And I said, do you want it? Do you guys want it? Like, I only want it like if they don't want it. I never want to say, I'm going to get that. I like to be like, well, if you guys don't want it, and they're the same with me. They're like, get it, Meli, or get it, Riley, or like whatever, like we talk about. And thank goodness for those two men, because if it wasn't for them, I would drive my friends and my spouse and everybody else crazy, because Riley and Trevor and myself, we talk hockey all day, every day.
Wow.
I love those guys.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Well,
I'm very, very excited. Well, see everyone again. Other thing. I got to
so
get a
go
Vegas
ahead, Paul.
plug in.
Yeah.
Oh, the weekend of the Vegas show, Barracuda are in town because Meli and Riley can't get away from the San Jose Barracuda, and because Riley's going to be there, it's also wrestling night for one of the Silver Knights Barracuda games. So yet
No
another
way.
AHL wrestling specialty game. I have no idea if
Riley.
Silver Knights are going to have a jersey or not, but
Oh,
if they do, I know Riley's going home with
Riley.
one. So,
yeah. Yeah, the Barracuda one is hard to top. It's so ugly that it's beautiful.
It is. It's so ugly. It's beautiful. Yes.
yeah, it's that. I can't put it in better words than that. So
Yeah, it was good. That was a fun night, and that was like the old school ones with the paddle. Like I haven't seen that forever. The live
oh yes,
auction stuff.
yeah,
Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, the Barracuda did 3 or 4 live auctions this year where they pass out the paddle, and
That's
I don't
fair.
know why they have to write down your number, and that's,
Yeah.
because one person goes down to pick it up, after you win the jersey. And I can't imagine someone who didn't win it going down there. And so,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
And I did just pull up the description from the Silver Knights page. Experience the thrill of live wrestling right in the heart of Henderson, along with your favorite hockey plays. Don't miss exclusive in-game appearances from local wrestling stars, inclusive fan giveaway, and unforgettable moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. That is the extent of the details, at least on their page right now.
Is that Friday or Saturday?
That is the 10th, so that'd be Friday.
Friday. Good. So yes, Monica and I, and we'll definitely be at that one.
Saturday night is Lucky Duck giveaway for the first 2,500 fans. A special rubber duck will be given away.
Is that from Alpha Acid? No, what's the brewery up there? I'm trying to remember. Not Alpha Acid.
Country Financials, who's doing the Lucky Duck giveaway. Unfortunately,
what's the duck?
It says it's inspired by their mascot. There's no picture of it, unfortunately.
The Knights are ducks?
No, the Silver Knights. So they're probably doing the Lucky Duck to make it look like a Silver Knight. I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
Or
like,
maybe it's a duck with armor on. Who knows?
Not that it matters. The brewery I was thinking of was Able Baker, which is a great little brew pub on the north end of the Vegas Strip, just north of the end of the Strip. So and they give away whenever you order a flight, you get a rubber ducky. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why I
that
thought that. I probably should fill in more
okay.
of the story, but yes.
Oh, okay. Then I guess we need rubber ducks then.
Yes.
For storytelling. To put with the gear.
Oh, that could look good. Yes, I'm getting ideas. So.
There you go. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, with that, we'll wrap this up. If you want to be a guest, if you have a topic, any of those kind of things, please reach out to Paul, Wade, or myself. We'll get you on. We'll get the topic on. I know Logan posted a good one on the main group today, discussion. Probably may touch on that next week, depending on what we have going on. I know, Paul, you'll have a wrap-up from L.A. A whole lot of more things coming. We're continuing to book guests and other things. I've got some more stuff for the list, too, for new people joining the hobby, what they should know. So we'll be getting into those on coming episodes. Continue to like, subscribe, share, all of those things, and we will see you back next time.